As most of you know, in the most recent Xbox showcase a few months ago, we did not get any news towards the release of a new entry in the Forza Horizon franchise, meaning that Forza Horizon 5 will likely continue its service until 2025 at the minimum. This would make it the longest running Forza entry that continues to be updated. So for the purposes of this video, I wanted to look at what the future of Forza Horizon 5 and even beyond could hypothetically look like, and for what I believe to be great steps for the franchise to take when it comes to catering towards its audience. But what if I knew someone who catered to you? You like games? Of course you do. So what if you could get them for a better price? Instant Gaming is your one-shop marketplace for game keys. Thanks to them, I've picked up lightning returns for $6. That's like a cheeseburger these days. Instant Gaming's marketplace allows you to browse through some of the most popular games on sale, and even allows you to pre-order upcoming releases such as Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown for an astonishingly great deal. They offer games for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and even Nintendo Switch, so no matter where you game, you're covered. I've personally used them to great success and have plenty of friends who can vouch for them as well. But don't just take our word for it. What about the over 700,000 Trustpilot reviews leading to a terrific 4.7-star rating? You can use the QR code on screen or use the link in the description to their website, or to enter our very own giveaway, which will be ending at the start of September. So get those entries in. Thank you so much to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to Horizon. The first thing that I want to discuss are the things that Horizon 5 does well and should continue to improve upon. The first thing I want to bring to attention is the drastic increase of quality when it comes to the new cars introduced through the festival playlist. All throughout 2022, myself and many other countless players were disappointed with the quality of cars being added to this game. This is an issue that has been improved starting from 2023 onwards. To prove this, I wanted to take a look at the playlist's history to show the increase of quality cars over time. Oh, and I won't be including any cars that are paid for with real money. I'm only looking at things that you get with your purchase of the base game. With that in mind, taking a look at the period from January to December of 2022, on screen you can see a list of the best new to Forza cars added, and this is a grand total of 14 brand new to Forza cars. Now let's compare this to the same time period, but instead swap in the year for 2023. In that period, we got this many wonderful additions, for a total of 28 new to Forza cars. Now that's double what we had in 2022, and this number is even being conservative by counting the Cadillac CT4V and 5 and the Rivians not as separate, as they are somewhat similar. So far, 2024 is looking to be equally great in terms of free content added to the game regularly. Now while of course it irks me to my core, the player base won't really mind recycles as long as they're added in conjunction with plenty of new content to go alongside them, which now we're able to not only get more regularly for free, but with the return of car packs giving the option for even more to those who are fine with spending a bit extra. Now granted, not all of these packs are of the highest quality, but I would rather them be there as an option than not, since it at least means that we will be getting new cars, something that was very rare to come by in 2022. The next thing I want to talk about is Events Labs, which is easily Horizon 5's best claim to fame. While I maintain that it's a bit volatile for the best feature of this game to be community driven and not something being actively developed by the team behind the game themselves, there's no denying that it is a brilliant feature that adds so much depth and replayability to Horizon 5. With this in mind, the obvious thing to do is to continue to lean into this and give creators more tools to work with, which has been happening a lot as of recent. Many updates throughout this year and last had plenty of tools added to help creators expand even further with their works, and the inclusion of a whole flat island to work with is nothing short of genius. Now this goes without saying that Events Lab has many an issue that is still remain. It's near impossible to make perfectly smooth tracks, and the creator leaves so much on the table for refinement, which honestly, before anything else, should come first. With all this being said, I am not an Events Lab creator, so I'm sure that there are plenty of others out there who would give a much more in-depth analysis into what about it could be improved. But from an outsider's perspective, and based off of the maps that I've played, Events Lab looks to be very promising, and the continual updates have certainly been of help. That's all I wanted to cover for the improvements towards what we already have in Horizon 5. But now I'd like to discuss some hypothetical changes that we could possibly see in the future. First of all, I want to talk about some quality of life features that should absolutely be implemented. Firstly, as stated in our massive Horizon 5 critique video, it would be imperative to allow players to access these playlist cars easier. Being locked to auction house hunting is a fate I wish upon no one. I still stand behind the idea of playlist cars being added to the auto show about a month or two after debuting the playlist. What this would entail is that players who couldn't be there for the playlist can still experience these amazing new additions, but those who were there on release will still get to play around with these new cars about a month or two early, which I believe is a fair compromise. Secondly, Forza already added a duplicate cars filter, which is great for removing cars I already have one of, but can we cut out the middleman and just give the option to instantly remove duplicate cars upon attaining them? This is already possible with wheel spins, but only offline. Every single car that is given out for a playlist event is force added to your garage, which you then have to go manually hunt out and delete in order to keep a clean garage. So instead, if a player unlocks a car that they already own, just have a prompt asking if they even want it. Other simple suggestions being replay cams for gathering footage and more car filters is a fun and easy addition, such as being able to search by engine type, a way to customize menus so that you can have the tabs you use on the most on a sort of custom page. For example, if you switch cars the most, open up Events Lab races, Rivals, and the Eliminator, it would be nice to have the ability to set up a tab with all of those for ease of navigation. That's about it for simple quality of life changes. Now for big content updates I'd like to see, first of which is the festival playlist, a lot of which I have already spoken about in the large Horizon 5 critique, so I won't repeat all of what was said there. But the basic gist is that a lot of the content should be outright cut as it's just not enjoyable, and the rest should be more specialized and focused in to make for a more meaningful experience, so that instead of feeling like a grind, it would instead be something players would play not just to unlock cars, but because it's a fun experience in general. Ubisoft shenanigans aside, I feel as though Horizon could take a ton of inspiration from the Crew Motorfest playlists, as those involve many unique one-off events, such as one where you have to race a track in a Ford Raptor stuck at a set speed and cruise control. Unique challenges such as this could work wonders in making the festival playlist a much more unique experience. Focusing on car culture to create diverse events would be the perfect direction to take this idea. The next thing I would love to see expanded upon is the evolving world this game likes to advertise so heavily, of which practice for a while was seen a bit of in laughingstock with these donut media signs and such, but these have seen some pretty drastic improvements with the Retro Wave update as well as the Cars and Coffee update, though I think this could be taken even further. I'd like to see permanent additions and improvements to the map. I'm not talking small things like signboards, I mean new buildings, car meet spots, and even out-of-map extensions similar to what Motorfest did with its Hoonigan update. Map extensions and updates would be huge for this franchise, and has been something I've heard people talk about being a possibility since all the way back in Horizon 2, when Most Wanted 2012 did something similar with one of its DLCs. And I still think that it's a very worthwhile thing to consider, especially considering the community's current feelings towards this game's map. To this day, my biggest gripe with Horizon 5 is its map. The way it's designed and the atmosphere it gives off pales in comparison to previous entries. So to have a direct way for Horizon 5 to upgrade it would be a huge boon for Horizon 5 to continue investing in. The last thing I want to bring up is the idea of a third expansion. Since Horizon 5 is going to be serviced for 4 years at a minimum, this will be the longest we will ever go without a new map of sorts. I think it's more than reasonable to hope for a full-on new expansion to tide us over until either a future game or whatever Playground's next big announcement is. As stated in the critique video, the lack of modern civilization in Horizon 5 is a big issue. So a city or urban expansion is not only very highly requested for this game, but would be perfect for if this game is going to be serviced for another year at least to come. Rumors of a third expansion were already in circulation in Horizon 4. And yet obviously that did not come to pass. With a game that's going to last as long as Horizon 5 though, I think it's far more worth considering a third expansion to help cover the flaws that the game already has, and to genuinely breathe new life into this game, maybe even bring back some players who are absolutely sick of the base map. I've also seen many people want the previous maps of Horizons 1, 2, 3, and 4 as possible map expansions as well, though this is still a huge ask considering the development firepower that this would take. All of this in consideration, I'd still rather a whole new industrial-style city, somewhat reminiscent of the Black Box era Need for Speed game, as a setting like this would perfectly contrast the likes of the base game and Raleigh map to hit a great diversity pool. Now to finish off here, I have a little note and disclaimer. We never made the 2-hour-long Forza Horizon 5 critique because we hate this game or this franchise. It's the opposite in fact. I absolutely love Forza Horizon. It's a series that is so near and dear to my heart, and has provided many a strong memory and friendship for me. The last thing I would want is for this series to stagnate and lose its way, so even just the possibility of being able to spread the world of how I would like to see my favorite racing game franchise improve is enough for me. And I could not have done all of this without you all sticking on my channel and being crazy enough to watch 2 hours of rambling about a game that I feel so strongly about. And as of the time writing this video, we just hit 35,000 subscribers, a milestone that I believed impossible when first starting this journey, and yet here we are. I want to say thank you to all of you so much for the kind words, the beautiful comments, and the support given through these past few years. And as a celebration of that, I wanted to thank you all and make a more positive video for everyone in the hopes of a brighter future for my favorite racing franchise.